Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gno.land Developer Weekly Call. This week is the Gno Core edition, and it's the 20th of March, 2024. So I'm going to share the link with everyone with regards to the agenda. And so just for the newcomers, there you guys go. Each week, so this week is the Gno Core edition, so it's focused on the core team giving updates and sharing their work, their progress, what they find useful for everyone. And then the next week, it is the ecosystem teams, and they provide updates on what they're working on and share and make ask questions. So if you're new, that's kind of how the flow works. I will share my screen and we can get started with some really exciting news. Okay. Also for those who are new, we structure it into, I think, 5 sections. So just like a quick TLDR on what's new. Then we move into the Gno.land blockchain. We have changed the, I would say, focus of section 3 to more around governance and DAO structurization. So Manfred will be leading this potentially with the support of Phil, who's our new DAO tinker. Section 4 is the virtual machine and new. And section 5 is focused on Tendermint 2. So it feels a little bit strange to make this announcement given that Milos is not here, but maybe I hand it over to you, Leon, to get everyone super excited about Meme.land realm.
Yeah, great. Yep, finally, guys, the Meme.land realm that we've been talking about has been released. It's live. Essentially, it's a very small, minimalistic platform where you can share memes. The idea is to showcase that we can even do images on the Gno blockchain. So right now, we've built the front end. The front end is the work of Milos. I've done the back end. And there's some internal memes, some external memes, and then yeah, I'll give a short demo of it at the end of the call. I don't want to take up too much time, but if there's anyone who wants to share the memes, please do, and then we'll see which one wins, since we can sort them by upvotes or sort them by time or whatever. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. So first up, it looks like we have a topic around Gno.land node configuration. I think this is both Gilhem and Morgan.
This is still Milos, actually.
Ah.
Oh, wait. Did you open the right one? No, did I put the wrong one? I put the wrong one there. Okay, it's supposed to be 1605. Anyway,
did I click? Are there 2 links? I know. Okay, so it just keeps showing Gilhem's.
Anyway, yeah, just supposed to be 1605. Anyway, this comment, the Gno.land config has now been merged. I've updated the link, Michelle. And this essentially enables you to modify values in the Gno.land configuration directly from the command line. So this avoids any sort of hacks that you might have in scripts changing configuration values using sed. And this will be together also with Gno.land secrets, like the full suite to modify everything about your Gno.land node. Something we're still currently working on, the API of Gno.land config is still not finalized, and it's because the keys will likely change in the next couple of weeks, because we're making the name of the keys match the one of the TOML fields instead of being the ones that we have in the internal structs. But once this is done, you can completely use this to change everything about your Gno.land node.
Okay. So moving right along. So it looks like, I don't know if there's a specific update that Leon you want to give, but that the Gno.land docs is receiving a nice facelift. Is there something?
It's not the docs, it's like the Gno.land page itself.
Okay.
In this case.
Everything is being facelift.
Yes, there's been a small facelift. So basically now we link to the docs, we link to the playground in the normal Gno.land website. Some texts are updated. Some texts, like for example, we've added which events we're going to. We've reorganized the homepage a little bit just to make it more clear on like what we want to do, and like we've updated the outdated links, etc., etc. But yeah, that's about it. It's a relatively short update on that.
Sounds good. I know that there was the test for call this week. Is there anyone who can give a quick update on that, since it's the next line item and Milos isn't here?
Yeah, I can go for it. Well, essentially, I think most of the partners know, but we're in talks about I was scoping basically the test for network, and then as soon as like we had a scoping call, we've discussed what would be good to actually do for the test for network, and then as soon as we finalize that and like actually formalize everything that we want, we'll share everything with you guys in order to participate in the validator set, etc., etc., etc.
One of the key important things that I think should be noted about test 4 is that test 4 will likely be is our first attempt at building like a chain which we should not need to reset. So the idea is that once that is launched, unlike the portal loop, which actually resets with everything that happens on master every time something is pushed, test 4 is the first one that should actually be able to upgrade itself and migrate to like new versions of Gno or update any kind of features. And essentially, it's our sort of test bed also for how we will be running mainnet in actual fact. So one of the sort of biggest key items that you can expect to see in the efforts leading up to test 4 will be one about creating a reliable migration system, which allows us to change a very wide surface area of the chain. If you have any specific requests about things that you would like to see for test 4, please do sort of ping us. And there's an issue on GitHub about this. Jeff, please.
Yes, Jeff.
Curious if test 4 has multiple validators?
Yes, it will.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Does Birdie run a validator?
We run a single node.
Okay.
But in the interaction with validators is a big deal. I'm curious to see that in action. Thanks.
Are there any other questions from the wider audience about testnet 4? Okay, I will take.
Oh, and test 4 may not be the final name. It's just continuing the series, but we are open for funnier or better names. So if you have suggestions, please.
Okay. Looks like you're up also next, Morgan, with some small tools.
Yeah. This one is a small tool that I've been working on for the past 2-3 weeks. It's a very boring name in GitHub SQL. The idea is that you can download the data of all the repositories we have on GitHub. And I'm just laughing reading the comments of name proposals. And this will sort of this allows us to do data analysis on the repositories, including like on the PRs, and it should help us both for Game of Realms and to sort of and then possibly create a queue of PRs to be reviewed. Something that I'm working on right now in the background But yeah, just thought I'd put this out there as something we've been doing. And if you do find it, if you do think it could be useful to you as well for any reason, please take a look.
Yeah, sounds good. I guess we already kind of covered this, but props to Albert. Search
No,
bars.
this has not been covered.
Okay, sorry, I was looking at the facelift.
No problem, no problem. No, so this is regarding the docs themselves. The docs now have a search bar. You can finally search. Content in the docs itself. It's going to be much easier to actually find stuff that you need. For
Ooh.
example, Michelle, if you type in rpc config, and then you can just click enter, it's just going to throw you over to the reference section where you have stuff that it's going to be generally much easier to find stuff that you need in the docs. Yeah, Albert, mad props to Albert. He's been working on this for some time and it's finally here. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it looks nice. Okay, and we've also got some more mad props. It looks like, I don't know if they're specific or
Yep.
But
yeah, I just generally noticed that Maxwell, Grapsuzet, June, Revas, and many others have been contributing and like being super active in the past week or two. And I just wanted to thank you guys for helping us build Gno.land. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you guys for contributing. So on to what's planned and in the works for the next 2 weeks. This one we talked about in the Go Weekly sync. Guillaume, I don't know if you want to.
Yes, it was a request by some users using Gno.dev. It's especially like improves the logging system and the way we display error in Gno.dev. So no more compact error, like you don't see anything. It should be more clear now. I'm still working on it. I need to find a way to actually have the full log node. And I have an ID for this. And when I have this done, I will be able to merge this one.
Was this the demo or?
No.
Okay.
No, but I will showcase this in the demo also.
Okay, sounds good. It looks like there's also an update on work for the linter. Okay.
Yep. This is something I think we already touched on last week.
Is there a link? Or? It's okay.
Linter to perform type checking when calling linter 1730. There we go. This is sort of still waiting a previous PR, which is 1702, but you will have like more robust and correct type checking for, which is not just about, is essentially like all the kind of compile time checks that Go already performs on when you run Go build or any other kind of command in the Go toolchain. And this will be, there's the current PR, which is awaiting review, which performs this check on the side of the VM keeper. And then there's this PR, which also adds the same checks on Gno.land, so that the resulting errors can be integrated within like text editors. Yeah, it's just a waiting review for now. Expect this shortly. Jeff?
Will this run when GNOdev loads up the code from a realm?
Yeah, because when you sort of start a Gno.land node, there are like all the code is added through a transaction, like through like Genesis transactions. So this means that it still goes through the normal VM keeper code, and so does the validation.
Great, because that's the primary place where we interact with compiling the GNO codes. Great.
It may not be perfect the first time around when this PR is merged, but I'll leave Gilliam to make the UX nicer after that.
Yep. The next one is mine. So the coins and coin structs in Gno will receive a bit of update on the functionality side. So instead of just having like 2 or 3 functions to actually modify these structs, you'll be able to use a bunch of them that already exist in TM2 but are not in Gno currently, and it's right now depending on the math overflow package, which we're going to be adding to the standard library with converge on how we're going to do it. As soon as that's done, the coins will have a new API essentially. I mean, we're going to keep the old one obviously the way it is, just adding more stuff. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, next up is the docs and the go to know.
Yep, I'll do it. So yeah, essentially the getting started section and the how to section are receiving a small refactor, mainly to include the playground. So users right now, when they go to the docs, are pointed to do a local setup, to clone the repo, et cetera, et cetera. The way this is going to work after is people are going to be just pointed to the playground so that they can actually start writing code literally immediately. And we've updated the how-to section as well, which basically handles some specific guides on how to do stuff. To instead of doing them locally, you can actually do them in the playground. Obviously, linking the code in the playground, because you can share code in the playground, and it's a very, very useful feature. And also, we're going to be updating the local section as well of the getting started, for example, to actually point people to use Gno.dev instead of like actually the full package of running the node, compiling everything, etc. So yeah, it's gonna the dev experience for Gno is getting much better. And on top of that, unrelated, but the next item, this Saturday we're doing a event in Korea, Seoul, and OnBlock is helping us a lot with this. So yeah, we're going to be doing a small event there.
And we're going to be introducing for the first time into the wild Gno.land.
Yeah, the main section of the event / workshop that we're doing is going to be the Gno.land realm and the whole app itself. As we've built it as a POC on like what you can build with Gno, then it's a perfect way to showcase how you build a backend with Gno and then how you build a front end that's going to connect there and actually use everything together. So
yeah, and just a big thank you to Andrew for your help with all of this. It's been really cool project working with you and Leon on this. Okay, so moving on to section 2, the Gno.land blockchain. Oh, sorry, Gno.land blockchain. It looks like the no key transaction tar is up to be discussed by Gilliam.
Yeah, this one is again for the internal tool we use, like TestScript, which we use heavily for our testing things. It just like enables the way we can interact with the query and actually enable quote, because they were inexistent before. And that's it.
Okay. There's an update. So next one is on no faucet. I think obviously Milos is not here. I don't know if anyone wants to quickly cover that
I'll
one.
pick it up.
Okay.
So
16.
yeah, now I think so. It should be the right link, unless yeah, that's right. So as you may know, we've been working for the past month on Faucet Hub. And I think you already know this piece of news as well because we published it on Core Contribs, but we now have integrated the sort of the new faucet into the GNO faucet binary. What that means practically is that if you now go on the Portal Loop faucet, it actually works, which I think means that for the first time after a year and something, because I remember I joined the project and the faucet wasn't working already, you can actually get Gno tokens automatically without asking Leon or Unblock or whatever. So that's a nice achievement. Of course, this will the UX of this will further be improved by the faucet hub. But yeah, you can already like get one Gno at a time by using the faucet.
That's good. So a lot less demands for faucet requests. So then next up, it looks like also Gno.dev is this 1622, probably related to Guillem as well.
Yeah, this one is an old one that has been merged. It's simply like add more argument to Gno.dev, especially configuring max gas, disable replay, and specify not port on chain ID, like it is mentioned in the body. And yeah, pretty useful.
Yeah, that looks also like it's linked to Birdie's builder journey too.
Yeah, that them suggested me like this argument.
Okay, moving. I don't know if there are any questions on the ones we've covered so far. Please just jump in, raise your hand, or let us know. But if not, we'll keep moving on. Okay.
Tiny question. When you do make install, it still installs the old Gno faucet utility. Is that still used, or should we just ignore it and use the separate repo for faucet?
I am not in the position to answer this question appropriately, because I was also expecting that we just remove the directory for your Gno faucet, but Milos hasn't done that. So I don't know if it's like if it's sticking around as the specific implementation we use for Gno Web as a faucet, or we'll be phasing it out shortly. But
okay.
Yeah,
I mean, like, we're not confused, but newcomers may be confused by that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
I guess any other questions or okay. Looks like CGO is now disabled in Makefiles.
Seago.
Oh, thank you.
No worries.
Seago.
Yeah, this is like a small quality of life thing, and it relates to, I think, an issue that Grep Suzette was also having. Not 100% sure. Anyway, this BR removes Seago from building when you use the make tools. This is mostly because some databases use Seago. So if you have it enabled, they will try to compile the databases, which may just simply not exist on your system, and the build will fail. So this by default, unless you explicitly enable it with your environment variables, will make sure that Seago is disabled when building. Not much more to it than that. It should also mean, yeah, that your binaries are completely statically compiled and not used, and even the standard, like, I don't know if you know, but the standard libraries in Go will actually use some Seago by default. So connecting up to C code, and with the option disabled, they will fall back to the pure Go versions. So that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we're into the pull request 1767.
Yeah, I will quickly go through these. though it's an external contribution, but I think this is something very useful, so we wanted to merge it. We wanted to mention it. So this has been made by June, and I think also the other PR, also June or someone else on Block. Anyway, we now have a new method on the uFompt package, which is errorf. So similar, yeah, Rebus, thank you. So similar to the Go equivalent of fmt.errorf, and which essentially simplifies what before had to be done by doing errors.new plus fmt.sprintf. And together with that, we also added support for the Rebus added support for other kind of other types, primitive types of integers, such as in 16, in 32, you win 16, you win 32. So now all integer types are supported by UFMT.
A stupid question. Assume that the error F is for the GNO code, but I haven't really seen the error return type being used in GNO code. So, you know, we're discouraged from writing GNO functions which return error. So what is this for?
Actually, errors are something we encourage. There's a section in effective GNO about this. I'll try to find the perm link.
We encourage it in our packages, not for realms. And we also encourage, so we're still experimenting with efficient GNO on this part, but basically probably we encourage people to use prefixes so that as a library writer, you can, I don't know, expose func do stuff and func must do stuff, or func do stuff and func may do stuff. So basically, we are still trying to define what is the best default and what could be common prefixes if you want to offer an alternative. So for realms, it's definitely good to panic early and stop the execution. For packages, it could make sense to sometimes use panic and sometimes return an error.
With the assumption that the caller will handle the error in a meaningful way.
Yeah, so it really depends. Some packages definitely should also return panic without leaving any choice to basically make a partially working transaction. But for packages, it makes sense, I think, most of the time. I don't have enough data right now to just return an error. When on the realm, it's actually better to just panic early.
Okay. And actually, it could be combined because in the glorious future, when a realm is called and it does panic, then maybe the panic will be able to get some useful information out of the panic instead of just a string, and maybe that will be an error object or something related. So anyway, it's cool to have error F.
Yeah, one of my ultimate goal is at some point to remove completely the limitation of using primitive types to query to perform transactions and to get the values. So basically, going forward in making marshalling obsolete in GNO language, if at some point we can figure out ways to basically only use GNO types, GNO structs, then maybe we could use error by default and returning an error as a normal behavior. But for the moment, since GNO key and wallets are more limited, I think it's good to encourage using panic in realms and sometimes using panic or returning an error in packages. But there is an efficient GNO section about this, and feel free to challenge it and improve it.
Okay, thank you.
We don't have enough data right now, so efficient GNO is bootstrapped. In practice, I'm pretty sure it will change over time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just like keep in mind that panic is a tool essentially that reverts the transaction or the realm call. So that means that effectively, like, to me at least, like using Panic is a tool that should primarily be used by the realm itself, as Manfred was saying. And the cases where it makes sense for a package to use Panic are mostly like the cases where it already makes sense in Go. So aside from the built-in sort of cases like division by zero, there's
if you explicitly propose two functions and one prefix with must, for instance, I think it's okay to also encourage people to panic from packages as soon as we make a standard, and reading code is easy. What we want to avoid is about not checking an error in a dangerous way. So we also need to have good linters. And if we can basically make it impossible or very hard to never check an error, I think we made our job well. But yeah, we have more impact in not checking an error on Gno than on standard Go.
Sorry, I thought a hand was raised. Okay, so I don't know if there are any other comments that we want to add about panicking. But the next section around the GraphQL API, I think this is Antonio leading the charge on the transaction indexer.
Yeah, just use this meeting for the heads up that everything is merged on master. So basically what's new is GraphQL API, giving you the possibility to filter historical data and also subscribe to real-time data from transactions and blocks. And yeah, go on, if you have any needs for an indexer, go check it out and open issues if you have some use case on mind that it can be implemented, and that will be awesome. Thank you.
Sounds good. Are there any, just opening up the floor, are there any questions on the transaction indexer or points to bring up from the ecosystem contributors? Okay, so we'll take it as if you have comments or feature requests, make a pull request. Okay, the next one is this one we talked about. Okay, so it says, I think this is you, Guillem. You prefer to wait for the demo at the end?
Yes, okay. But basically it's a future proposal to add on the to be able to handle JSON argument. But yeah, I will talk about in the demo idea. Okay,
that sounds good. Then we can keep going and get so that we can get to the cool demos. Is there someone who can, or I can just read it, but if there's someone who wants to go into more detail around the what's planned for NoWeb in the next 2 weeks, give a bit more details, or if not. Okay, it'll get some evidently.
Sorry. NoWeb. So yeah, this is mostly concerning some changes that have been long due, about adding support for Godoc style package and realm documentation to the to GNOWeb. So as by extension the Gno.land website. I am planning to do this to make it work for standard libraries, packages, and realms. Possibly realms with a sort of slightly different UI. I'll see. But yeah, this is so like you don't have to use the GNOME-doc command line tool in order to see documentation about packages or whatever. Jeff?
Will this also show up when you click on help on the web thingy and it shows all the realm functions? Like
Yeah.
mainly the comment for the doc comment for the realm function.
So maybe not straight away. Like I see that as possibly something that I'll tackle in another PR.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, honestly, because like one thing I'm thinking is that if we have like a web interface to see package and realm documentation, it may just be the case that for realms we can use that and integrate the current functionality of help within the realm documentation, right?
Sure. Yeah, just the link would be enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be thinking about it and possibly get a bit of feedback of what sort of UX would be better. But yeah.
Great.
I have a feedback. My feedback is we should basically have Gno.web returning the GoDoc page by default, and we should also expose all the docs folder from the repo. So you run Gno.web from any commit, and you have all the local documentation. So basically making docs.Gno.land obsolete, or maybe keeping it for the nice interface. But let me just find something in effective Gno. I quoted someone from Go about documentation. Documentation is for users. So Rob Pike said documentation is for users, and I think we are taking this code from Rob Pike to the next level, because he was writing documentation is for users, but users was actually maybe more a developer. In our case, documentation is definitely linked to the code. Code is something we expose for transparency, for discoverability. So my wish list for Gno.web is to expose a richer GoDoc service by default for realms, but also expose, I don't know, examples, suggestions, messages from the developer. Maybe the readme.md should also be displayed when you click on help page on the help page of a realm, and all the docs folder from the repo should also be exposed, just to be linked with the current Git hash of the current running Gno.web instance. So this is my feedback on this. We should put everything in the Gno.web instead of trying to have multiple interfaces and have not outdated but different versions of the documentation running at various places. So yeah, my feedback is maybe extreme, but centralizing all the doc in Gno.web. And going more in documentation is for users. And when I say users, in my opinion, we should expose that already is the case with RPC call, even if you don't have all the fields. With what you did in packaging Gno.land docs, we could expose more information. And I think this API should also be used by wallets and other external clients to basically make Gno the ecosystem with the most documented ecosystem by default from Gno.web, from your wallet, from everywhere actually.
So do you just while we're on this, so you think it makes more sense for there to be a specific like a query call to get like package documentation rather than this work being done through static analysis on the Gno.web?
I think that the final target is definitely to expose a call with documentation. Something understandable, a type safe with Amino, with QLong, with JSON, with, I don't know, API, Swagger, or whatever. And this thing could either be a replacement from the current API or maybe just a new one. And we have two choices. One, we can compute it dynamically, or maybe we can compute it at package. Because when you make that package, we can generate some additional, I don't know, definition document that can be queried later by other things. But definitely, I believe we should be more extreme in being the most transparent and discoverable ecosystem. And this is by having Gno.web being the only tool you need when developing locally. You run Gno.web locally. You have all the docs from your local realms, from the current implementation of the Gno backend, and you have an API that you can use from your wallet and other tools to basically have type safety and discover the features of the realm, discover the field names, discover the suggested approach by the developer, discover the suggested flow of using this one. Maybe discover the unit test and maybe exposing the test for users could make sense in our case. Everything that will make discoverability easier and trust enforced, I think is something we should try to push. It's not a higher priority, but this is, in my opinion, the destination if we want to be recognized as being the most discoverable ecosystem and language.
Okay, I tried to get a bit of that written down, but if anyone could just double check.
I will put an issue on this, Michelle. But since Morgan was asking for feedback, I wanted to give my vision on this.
Yeah.
And just so you know, I have a plan to make a presentation exactly on this point at some point. We'll have inspiration.
I think you can write it down on the on 522, which is the GNO doc issue.
522? Okay.
All right, in the essence of time, I will, and since we have two demos, I wanted to move on to the governance and DAO structurization. Manfred, if you want to give us a quick update on where you're taking this.
So let me open ACMD. So basically, what is new? We have Phil. I think Phil is here joining us through a grant. I linked the grant. I don't know, Phil, if you want to present yourself and the grant.
Yeah, well, just saying hi. And there's the link. So thank you for that. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. Nice to meet you all. I work on decentralized governance, and essentially the grant is about conducting a research study, and I'll try to actually articulate or tie the study with whatever is the priority in the current work on the governance design. So yeah, there's not much more to say at this point because I'm just starting off, but I guess there will be more in the coming weeks.
Welcome, Phil.
Thank you.
Another change is that governance will become one of my next topics, especially clarifying our need. So I will recycle an experience we made recently with Atom1 and GovGen and try to have a dedicated repo about not about Gno.land, the language and all the engineering tools we need, but about Gno.land, the ecosystem, which is targeted to be owned by a DAO, which is targeted to become unstoppable, resilient, timeless. So something, basically, my goal is to try to create a plan that I will assist in terms of execution so that at some point I can definitely stop working on this and it will last for years so I can start building on GNO myself. This is my plan in multiple phases. So I will do like Atom1 a repo with the plan, what we need to do, what are the milestones, what is already known, what is yet to be defined, what is yet to be challenged. And we're also looking for people to help us. So basically the previous way of speaking about this topic was to speak about tokenomics. So all the thing about when airdrop, about distributions, about reward. But technically, what is the most different in our project is more about the DAO system itself, how to measure, how to scale, how to secure an ecosystem of contributors. So I want to clarify all those points, to invite people to give their feedback, to invite people to propose to work on sub-issues, to invite people to open PRs, to change anything, or propose a change. As soon as this repo is released, I expect that it will be like the Atom1 repo, something where you can basically just browse to discover and learn, or something where you can propose your help by commenting, opening PR issues. And I think that's all. And last point, we'll organize town halls or architecture sessions, so meetings to discuss and try to build together, or at least to build in public so that more people can try to get involved later.
Okay. So moving on to section 4, the VM and No. clarify that Gno does not support shadowing native types. 1711. Is this Dylan?
Yes, this is an update to our documentation to clarify. And actually, there's something that Paytar is something that's planned, or it's a PR that's out now, planned on merging and reviewing in the next 2 weeks to kind of enforce this new the shadowing rule, where we don't want to allow shadowing of the built-in UVerse types. If you go back, there's like another. If you just skip to the next section real quick, there's to the HackMD. In like the next 2 weeks, there's 1793. Sorry, it's the next section.
Yeah, that's what you're working on. Okay, great.
Well, this is what Peter's been working on this, so it's related to it's all related to the shadowing of kind of the globals or the types in the UVerse namespace.
I don't think Paytar's here either. I think he's on flight, right?
Yeah, a summary quick, like too long didn't read here, is that we don't want people to be able to shadow names like int, panic, recover, etc. All of these identifiers that are defined in the global namespace.
I don't know if there are any questions on this one. If not, we'll move on to the next one. It looks like it's ongoing efforts for closures created within loops. I don't know, Jay or Maxwell or Morgan. If you want to grab this one and just give a quick update. Is it?
Hi, can I? Yeah. This one is pretty tricky, and currently I'm doing some exploration, as Jay points out. The strategy is that we want to wrap the body of the for loop into another block statement, and also we have to inject the loop mar, like into the body. So I think generally it's doable. As I have some work on that today. Though it's quite tricky, but I think it's doable. Except one that about the implicit loops that in the form of a go to labels. If you have a go to label, and that will form an implicit loop. So that's that one will be more tricky, I think. I don't know if they have some better idea on this. Yeah.
Thank you, Maxwell. Yeah, I haven't completed my thinking about this yet, but I think it's doable. I think all we need to do, not the main thing, is to turn what follows the go-to statement. So basically, replace the go-to label, replace the labeled statement with a block statement, and yeah, but until the next label. So don't do the whole thing. If there's another label, then stop it right before the label, and then make another block statement right after that label. So yeah, I feel like with that it might work. Still thinking.
Okay.
Okay. If we can move on maybe to the native bindings. No longer supports link types.
Yeah,
So,
I'll try to be quick. Just removing a feature that was added for native bindings, which was complicating the implementation, and removing it eases up many things in the sort of linter changes where we had discussed before.
okay. Yeah, sorry, in the essence of time. So we talked about the enforced rules around shadowing. The termination analysis to panic, 1750.
Yeah, I think this is from an outside contributor. It's just it fixes this long bug that we've had no termination analysis on a statement. So this fixes that. It'll fix a whole kind of a whole class of different bugs that can be encountered due to that.
Nice. External contributor. Okay. And then the last two, 1777 and 1698.
This one is from a feature request from Jeff, actually. And this was what we call time.now, that we can to be able to differentiate between the times that are returned. So like transaction 1 would have a different, time.now than transaction 2 inside the block.
Okay, and then the adding the math overflow. This one also, I think, was mentioned earlier. Okay. By Jan. Yep.
Yeah, it's just we're going to be porting so math overhaul will exist in the standard library of Go. I'm sorry. That's the idea.
Okay, and last but not least, section 5 on Tenorment 2, 1723.
Yeah, it just allows you to make a config change to disable the write-ahead log. Currently, I mean, mostly useful when testing, I guess. I'm not sure. It might be useful in other cases as well.
Okay. And then min and max replacements.
Yeah, this is just could even be skipped for the call. This is just internal refactor, removing some code that could be simplified.
Okay, that sounds good. I know we only have like 4 or 5 minutes left. Are there any urgent questions or questions from the contributors based on everything we've given you as updates for this week?
The demo.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I take that maybe we have to find another way because we're getting low on time for questions. It becomes a rushed event. So okay, I will stop sharing my screen and hand it over to either Leon or Guillaume to start the demo session.
Guillaume, do you want to go first or should I go first?
No, I can go first. Okay, let's go. Entire screen. This one. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, good. So I will talk about a feature proposal about integrating JSON into message call, but also in the return. So what does that mean? It means like you don't have any primitive type inside this message call, but you can also handle like complex type like array and the structure as a JSON. It's actually a pretty simple change if you look at it, but it's impact a lot the way we interact with Gno.land. So the change is actually this big to handle JSON. So of course I use some stuff that already exists, Gno2 Go value, Amino and Marshall. And yeah, so basically this converts your realm into a concrete and full operational API using Gno.key at last. So now the demo, I will try to be quick. So let's start Gno.dev. So I use like a basic realm with a lot of method to showcase this. So here's my realm. Here's my helper to see which method I can call. So let's call add value with which have an array, for example. So where are you? Add value. Here we go. Tick, tick, copy paste. This one, arg. And now I can pass. I need to do that, of course. And that's it. So it's pretty simple, right? So I also updated the return. So now it's a JSON. So like I said, fully operational API. And if I want to do, I can do more complex type. For example, using cool call with the second arg like this one. So as you can see, the return is much more complex because I have like string, int, and a full structure embedding another structure. No, like this. And as you can see, you have my cool call that has been called with the result here, which is a much more complex type. So this is just a base, but it enables us like to build more complete tool on top of it. For example, I develop another tool which I call Gno API, but maybe it should be Gno key. I don't know. I will show you this. So basically, Gno API is much more a gateway that convert all your realm or any node you target as a REST API. So I will take the same file for example. So first off, if I call the realm with func at the end, I show all the functions. You know this one, it's already there. If I call just counter without anything, it just shows the render. But what is interesting, and if I actually use query, I can interact it. Oh shit! I will use a simple one just for this one. Let's take this one. I get. Oh, yeah, better. So actually, also I didn't mention it, but Gno API load your keybase locally. So it has a really like a gateway. You will use your keybase and interact with a remote node. So now you have a real REST APIs. You can even use GQ to parse it. And of course, you can use a more complex type. If I use the best way to see it is actually using, for example, a tool like Postman. Sorry. Anyway, like this. So I retake my cool call just as before. I had like this way just as a JSON, like naming the value. So you can put in any order you want. And it should work as expected. And you also see like the complete structure, like it has been in Marshall and everything. You can also, with Gno API specifically, you can also pass it directly as an array, argument by argument, the same way. And you can also pass any structure you have. Yeah, I try to do as quick as possible, only 7 minutes, that's good. But that's it, I think. Yeah, sorry.
Awesome.
So yeah, if you have any feedback on this, really appreciate it because like, yeah, really experimental for now.
Yeah, since we don't have a lot of time, maybe we could do it again briefly if people want to provide feedback. Since probably now there won't be enough time. Can we have 2 minutes for Leon?
Yep.
Okay. so that we can
Right.
get some.
let me get shards. Yeah. Okay. So if we go to meme.gnoteam.com, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So this is basically Meme.land. This is the platform that Miloš has built along with me. The idea is that you can basically upload memes to the Gnome chain. You can sort them by upvotes or by date where they were posted. And we just had a meme by someone. Essentially, there's a couple of functionalities. You can connect with Adina, obviously. You can upload a meme, and then now let me find a meme that I randomly selected from my desktop. I'll approve it, and then very shortly we'll have a meme posted to the chain. This is like actually on chain. And then, for example, we can upvote, and of course I'm going to upload my own meme. And then yeah, there it is. And then, for example, if we want to go and sort it by upvotes, we'll see which one is the best. And essentially, people really like having a faucet fixed, as it seems. And yeah, this is it. This is essentially what we've built. This is something that has been in the works for some time, and now we can actually start sharing memes and everything. So maybe by the next call on next Wednesday, we can have some more memes from contributors and from external people as well. This is open to anyone, obviously. And there's a repo on GitHub if anybody wants to look at the code. It's literally Gno.land/Meme.land. It's right there sitting. It contains both the UI, the front end, and the realms and the GNOME code on the back end. Yeah, that's about it.
Thanks, Leon. And maybe we can also start having a most valuable meme every week, so that people start adding. Okay, so we're over. Thank you everyone for your time. That's a wrap, and we'll see you next week for the contributor edition. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
That was awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.